It started with an Excel sheet. Not love, not passion, not even disappointment. Just a spreadsheet. Colored cells. Debt totals. Interest rates. Payment plans. I had always been the kind of guy who tracked everything. Not because I was controlling, because it made me feel safe. She used to laugh at that. Said it was cute how serious I got about numbers. But her laughter had a softness to it, like she appreciated it more than she let on. We'd been together for almost 2 years. Lived together for half of that. I worked in tech, mostly remote. She was a freelance copywriter. Sometimes social media gigs. Sometimes design. Mostly stress. That's what she said when the bills piled up. Student loans. Credit cards. Random things from her early 20s that followed her like unpaid ghosts. I had asked once gently if she had a plan. She shrugged. Said she paid what she could when she could. That she was doing her best. And maybe she was. I never planned to pay them off for her. It wasn't a white knight thing. It wasn't about control. But I started noticing how much her stress shaped our home. She'd avoid calls. She wouldn't check mail. Sometimes she'd cry after getting an email. Then she'd tell me she just needed coffee. So I did what I knew how to do. I calculated. Quietly. It took me 2 months to figure it out. I shifted some savings. Sold off a few unused stocks. Nothing life-ending. Just things I could live without. When it was all done, I didn't make a big scene. No surprise cake. No ribbon-tied envelope. I just printed the receipts. Laid them on the kitchen table. Sent her a text to check the papers when she got home. She didn't respond right away. When she walked in later that evening, her face was unreadable. She looked at the papers for a long time. Then picked them up and walked to the bedroom. She didn't say much that night. Just curled up next to me tighter than usual. Her breathing was shallow. She stayed close until morning. I thought that was a good sign. In the days that followed, something shifted. It wasn't obvious at first. She smiled more. Her posture straightened. She started wearing her hair differently. Started putting on lipstick even when we weren't going anywhere. She wasn't lighter. She was free. I told myself that was the point. That freedom was what I wanted for her. That maybe now we could actually build something. That maybe stress had just been getting in the way. She posted less on social media, but she scrolled more. Spent longer in the bathroom. Her phone was always face down, but I didn't think much of it. She said she was trying to detox from notifications. That she was tired of everyone's opinions. I believed her. Because that's what you do when you care about someone. You believe them until the evidence makes it impossible. That hadn't happened yet. So I let her float in the calm I had created. One evening she came into the kitchen while I was making dinner. Said she wanted to take a trip. A short one. Just a few days to recharge. Said her best friend had found a cheap place in Palm Springs and invited her. I said of course. Even offered to help book the flights. She said it was already taken care of. That her friend was handling it. She kissed me on the forehead and went back to scrolling. That night I added a new sheet to my Excel file. Labeled it Trust Log. Not because I was suspicious. Just because I didn't want to miss anything if things started to go quiet. I didn't know it yet, but things had already gone silent. I was just too in love to hear it. It's strange how silence doesn't announce itself. It sneaks in quietly like humidity. One day everything feels normal. The next you realize the air has changed, and you've been sweating without noticing. She was still there. Same apartment. Same schedule. Same coffee mug with the chip in the handle. But she moved differently. Like someone trying not to be noticed in a room full of people who already knew her secret. I told myself I was imagining it. She started sleeping later, then waking up earlier. Said she was working on a new writing project. She typed more but shared less. Her screen was always angled away. Her headphones were always in. The Spotify playlist we used to build together sat untouched. I kept making dinner. She kept saying thank you. But she didn't ask what I was thinking anymore. Didn't comment on the way I chopped vegetables or folded the towels. Those little things she used to tease me about were now just part of the furniture. Once, I noticed her suitcase in the closet was missing. I asked casually if she had moved it. She said she was getting it ready for Palm Springs. That she liked to be prepared. That the trip was exciting and long overdue. I smiled and said I was glad. That she deserved a break. But in my chest, something small broke. She started dressing nicer. Even when she wasn't going anywhere. Not flashy. Just thoughtful. Coordinated. Like someone planning to be seen. Her phone buzzed more. She never picked it up in front of me. Said notifications were stressing her out. Said she needed to create better boundaries. I nodded. Agreed. Said it was healthy. Said I respected that. But I started checking timestamps. Not because I wanted to catch her. Just because I wanted to know where I'd lost her. There were evenings when she said she was out with her friend. I believed her. But something in the way she said it felt too rehearsed. Too smooth. Like she had practiced it in front of a mirror until it no longer sounded like a lie. One night she came home with a new book. A romance novel. She placed it on the shelf next to the one I'd given her last Christmas and never saw her read. I asked her how she liked it. She said she hadn't started yet. But the receipt in the bag said it was bought 3 days ago. She stopped asking about my work. She used to listen to me vent about deadlines and bad code. Now she just nodded and went back to her screen. I became a background app. Always running, never seen. And yet, she still kissed me goodnight. Still curled into me like habit. Still said the words she always had, though I noticed she said them faster. Like removing a bandage before the sting sets in. I told myself it was a phase. That people go through things. That maybe her mental health was shifting, and she didn't know how to share it yet. I told myself it wasn't my job to pressure her. That love meant patience. But deep down, I was building a case. Quietly. Like a lawyer who doesn't yet know the charge, but suspects a crime. It wasn't anger. Not yet. It was the ache of watching someone slowly erase you with a smile. Of seeing your place in their world shrink from front row to balcony. From us to me and him, in ways you couldn't prove but couldn't ignore. She bought new sunglasses. Said they were on sale. I later found the email receipt in the spam folder. Full price. Shipped overnight. A brand she used to say she hated. The kind her ex used to wear. I didn't confront her. That's not who I was. I logged it. Like everything else. A line in my silent spreadsheet of closeness lost. I started walking more. Late at night. No destination. Just headphones and streetlights. I'd come home after she was asleep. Sometimes she'd leave a note. Most times she didn't. The trip to Palm Springs was now less than a week away. She seemed giddy. Packed and unpacked her suitcase 3 times. Said she wanted to be ready. Said her friend was bad at planning, so she had to do it all herself. I offered to drive her to the airport. She said it wasn't necessary. Said her friend would come pick her up. That they were leaving together. I smiled and said of course. But inside, something hollow settled in. It wasn't jealousy. It was recognition. She was already gone. It was a Saturday morning. She was asleep. The apartment was quiet in that heavy way that feels planned. Like silence was being curated. I got up early to pay bills. Her laptop was on the table, half open. The screen still glowing faintly. I wasn't trying to snoop. I wasn't hunting. But curiosity isn't always a choice. Sometimes it feels like instinct. There was a downloads folder open. I saw a file labeled itinerary_23.pdf. My eyes paused. It looked harmless. Standard. Travel stuff. But something in my chest hesitated. Like a warning with no source. I opened it. 2 names. Hers. And his. I didn't need to Google the last name. I knew it. I had heard it before. Once. Maybe twice. Always in the past tense. Dismissive. Distant. Irrelevant. He was supposed to be a closed chapter. But there he was. Guest number 2. Same room. Same check-in time. Same checkout. Palm Springs. Resort suite. King bed. I didn't react. Not outwardly. My hands didn't shake. My breathing didn't spike. I just sat there, looking at the screen. Like it was a glitch. Like the file would change if I refreshed. It didn't. I downloaded the file to a flash drive. Then I printed it. Folded it neatly. No notes. No explanation. Just facts. She came out of the bedroom 15 minutes later. Smiling. Hair tied up. No idea. She made coffee. Talked about the weather. I nodded, but I wasn't there. I had already left. Not physically. Not yet. But my heart had walked out of that apartment without a sound. I waited 3 days. Not because I didn't know what to do, but because I wanted to see if she'd tell me. She didn't. She kept acting like everything was fine. Kept humming while she made breakfast. Kept asking about my day like nothing in the world was slipping out from under us. Her eyes were too calm. Like she'd already rehearsed the ending. I kept playing the role. Just one more act. I helped her carry the suitcase to the door. Told her I'd water the plants. She smiled and said she'd miss me. I didn't respond. When the door closed behind her, the silence felt final. Not empty. Not dramatic. Just done. I went back inside, sat at the kitchen table, and placed the printed itinerary beside her old coffee mug. Next to it, I left a note. Not a letter. Not a breakdown. Just one sentence. You could have asked for freedom, I would have given it. Then I packed a small bag. Nothing major. Just clothes, my laptop, and the flash drive. I didn't delete her number. I didn't block her. I didn't rage post or call her family. I didn't leave a mess. I just walked out the door. Because some exits don't need noise. They just need truth. I moved into a short-term rental. Nothing special. One bedroom. A couch that made my back hurt. A kitchen with dull knives and flickering lights. But it was mine. No history in the walls. No traces of her. The first night, I didn't sleep. Not from pain. Just from silence. It was a different kind now. Not hollow. Not aching. Just unfamiliar. She didn't message. Not that night. Not the next day. Not the week after. I checked once to see if she had posted anything. Her account was private. Her story showed palm trees. A cocktail. Sunglasses. No faces. No tags. The kind of curated detachment that looks like peace, but feels like pretending. I wondered if she ever looked for me. Wondered if she checked to see if I had seen the post. Maybe she didn't care. Maybe she cared too much to ask. But I didn't reach out. Because the thing about betrayal isn't the lie itself. It's the ease with which it's carried. The grace of it. The comfort. That's what stays. That's what echoes. I kept working. Ate simple meals. Walked to clear my head. Some nights I replayed the moment I opened the file. The way my eyes traced each line like a slow descent into ice. I tried to pinpoint what hurt more. That she lied or that I saw it coming and still hoped to be wrong. People always talk about closure like it's something you get from the person who hurt you. That's not true. Closure is what you build when there's nothing left to ask. No apology that would make it worth reopening. She sent me a message on the 17th day. Just one line. I hope you're okay. I stared at it for a while. It wasn't cruel. It wasn't warm. It wasn't anything. It was the digital version of standing at a distance and waving without waiting to see if the hand waves back. I archived it. Didn't reply. I still have the spreadsheet. I don't open it anymore. But I don't delete it either. Not out of spite. Just as a reminder. That love, even when genuine, isn't always enough to keep someone honest. Sometimes it just funds their escape.